everybody. Welcome back. Encountering the Unknown. Dr. Paul Evidanian, my wonderful son, Paul Jr. Episode 14, we're calling this one Honoring the Fallen. All the heroes from the attack, 9/11 attack, 24 years ago this past week. We remember them, almost 3,000 that were killed by that vicious attack on the Twin Towers. Also, some other stuff this week. Our thoughts and prayers are to Charlie Kirk's family. And Paul, you have something you want to read?
Yeah. I think in the wake of everything that's happened this past week, there's been various displays of political violence. And I'm not a writer. I don't claim to be anything. But this is just, I was in a reflective state. I just wrote down some things I was feeling. And I hope that, you guys hearing these words, that you will see that, number one, it's genuine, and number two, that I hope it inspires you to reflect on everything that's happened, because, I think it's kind of negligent to just turn our backs on everything and just to dismiss it as nothing. So I'm just going to read this for you all right now. We pause to remember, to honor those who stood for conviction and courage. The red that bleeds across our skies reminds us of the cost we bear. When words divide and silence grows, freedom flies, but our children worry, stuck in the shadows of what's left undone. We tremble to voice our truths, swallowing what must be said, yet the ember of human morality still grows within us all. A life devoted to principle leaves this world, but not before leaving a call. To converse, to disagree humanely, to see what's real, and to act with courage and conscience. And, like I said, I was in a reflective whatever. So,
words, very nice words.
Like I said, I hope everyone from, all backgrounds and everything can relate to this, because I know there is a lot of weight on American citizens right now. And I don't care what background or, what ideals you believe in, just celebrating a public death is weird. That is very strange. And, I feel like that's not human.
Inhumane,
that's
right. It's inhumane.
Because you got a brother, you got a sister, you got a mother, you got a lover, you got a husband, you got a wife, you got kids. Everyone's got a person. And even if you don't, you had a person at one point, or you want a person. So, there's so many different angles that could be looked at and say why this is wrong. And I don't want to say anything. We're not here to just, give our political stances, and that's not what this is. This is just, we're all human. We're all part of the human race. I don't care what you look like, what you smell like. We all still shit the same. So, most cases it's a brown shit. Sorry
we all
for
bleed
the
red,
yeah,
obviously.
exactly.
We're all God's children.
And the comment section, you guys can treat it as like a spot, a safe space to just say what you're feeling, like what I just displayed here. And let's just be respectful. Nothing, no crazy anything going on in that comment section. Just don't be feeling like you're the only one who's out there. Are you the only one who's dealing with all this? Because no, there are a lot of people out there who are going through the same stuff, and we're here. So just use it respectful, voice what you're feeling. You are okay. And yeah, I think that's good. Just some crazy stuff going on though, and like how it ties into not only like the physical realm, but the spiritual realm. Like there is spiritual warfare going on, and it is palpable these days. You can feel it. You can, like, there's so much animosity going on, and the polarization between the country is like unsettling a little bit, because I don't know, it's no longer an issue of alignment. It's an issue of humanity. Human morality is what it comes down to at the end of the day. And yeah, we all think differently on things, and I think it's okay to think differently. Yeah. If we were all the same, we'd be clones of each other. Right. So that'd be boring, we all like someone different. You don't like people for certain reasons, but you know,
doesn't mean you kill them.
Yeah,
or threaten
we can
them.
disagree
Or
respectfully.
disagree.
Yeah.
And that's
Agree
what
to disagree.
communication
And,
is,
yeah.
bridging that gap.
Communication breakdown.
Yes, true.
Led Zeppelin.
But
No.
that's what we're gonna,
Yeah.
first I'm gonna give a shout out to my friend Diana and her husband Carlos, another friend.
Look how cool that
on
looks.
air they got
everyone.
us that.
That
which
is so
Thank
cool.
you. So
That is so
appreciate
cool.
you guys.
Yeah, thank
And,
you.
Thank
you.
New little look
That's awesome.
today, but we're gonna talk about. I think where we left off was at The Voice, the last episode, I believe.
Yeah.
At that bridge. So maybe a little recap of what happened.
Yeah, so I think some of the last stuff we had talked about was like hearing that voice and everything,
Yes.
and we had some big heavy stuff that we were talking about the last time. Definitely, and you know how we told you about that, that encounter I had where I was very lucky and Bill was like, what's going on, You were so lucky that you got out of that unscathed because, you kind of put yourself there. And, I didn't know the severity at the time, but then, we were informed of what was going on and stuff. And then we learned, we talked more about the voice and everything, and how, we didn't know what we were getting ourselves into a little bit with all what was going on and the booming and all that different stuff. And we never got to finish quite everything about that story. We left out a little bit. I believe the last interaction or encounter was either us talking to Robert. I think it was us talking to Robert. And now he was saying, like, if you guys remember from the last episode, sorry, it was a couple months ago. No. Yeah. But he was talking about, like, how evil will never see you in this life. And there's, like, a big projected light where my face is. So, they won't be able to see us. And then I had that interaction at that giant shopping center years ago when my mom and my sister were there. And that was just so weird to have like a public interaction like that. My guard was down and, that guy, he made a face at me. My head was down. I was pushing the cart and he apparently looked up. My sister got upset. She was like, yeah, what was his problem? Like, if he wants to fight,
snarling at you,
smack him in the
Yeah,
face.
just a weird look.
Yeah. So that was very weird. Definitely. But
so
we should go to fall of 2019 now.
Yeah, moving forward to probably it was like one of our last stops of the night, going to the Saks Covered Bridge on Gettysburg, which we talked about before. As we pulled up, I remember you stating you could see like colors around the people, the living people. And what were you seeing at that point?
Well, I remember, so yeah, like you said, there were a lot of living people there that night.
It's usually busy, Friday, Saturday nights.
And there were a lot of spirits there too. And I remember that, like, it got to a point where I could see outlines of people. And I remember, like, some of them were, like, this weird, like, red, dark red color that was, like, weird. And I think it's important to note that, like, normally the colors that I'd see of this weird outline on people, it's usually like a blue, light blue, or light green, or sometimes a little mix of in between, or
These are with
a little
the
bit.
spirits normally. And living too.
Yeah, no, this is usually with the spirits. I haven't seen it
this
on
Living
Living
that was the first
ever
thing
ever
that night.
So when I saw the red on Living people, that was a little weird because I don't even like, if it was you and I just opened the prayer, I probably wouldn't see any outline on you or me, which is weird because when you think about it, like, whoa, that was the first time I saw an outline on Living people, and it was almost like they were coated in this weird aura or spiritual, like, blob or something, some type of something that was there.
And how many did you see that night? Do you remember?
It was more than a couple.
There's
a
lot of people there.
Yeah, there were a
as
lot of
usually
people.
There's ghost tours there. There's just people
trying to think
backing the bridge on both sides.
how many? There were a lot. I'll just say a lot because I can't even.
More than a handful.
More than a handful.
Okay.
More than a handful.
And what, like, and again, I'm adding to what Paul, he's sort of in a trance then when the prayer is open.
Mm-hmm.
And he would say, you know, Dad, look ahead, see that guy with the glasses and mustache or whatever. He's just panning the crowd. But he's like, I don't know what he's looking for, but he can't see us.
Yeah.
Remember you were saying that, and you said...
It was weird. It was so weird.
You said that the guys around us were forming like a dome of protection around all of us.
Yeah, I remember they were... Well, it was almost like they were like filing us in.
Yeah.
Like, so we were kind of like just blended in with them almost.
Okay.
But I remember like that was weird because I like could see this guy looking around like going like
but
this.
He couldn't focus on you. He didn't.
No, he was looking intently all around.
Yeah.
And I was like, why would this random older gentleman be going like this?
Yeah.
And now
having the red hue around them.
Did you? I forget. Did you guys see people looking around? Also?
Yeah, when you told us, you'd say like, "Oh, that guy has this," or "That guy over there." So we were on high alert. I remember that. And then we walked down in the woods towards the dam, and then there's a little area that it becomes the national park again. So you can only go so far, and then you can't after dusk. You can't go beyond that. That's a little bit beyond the dam. But as we were down in there, I remember you saying, "Dad, that voice, the booming voice, is here again."
Mm-hmm.
And what did it say to you?
It was like, why do you hide? You'll never win.
But it was deep, like, why do you hide?
Yeah,
You'll
not my
win, right? It was like you said, like Thanos.
Yeah, it was
a
like
scary voice.
It was like the bass
same
was
voice.
so drawn out.
It was the same voice that you heard at Little Round
Yeah,
Top.
yeah, it was the same voice.
So, but it was like what, a month or two later.
Yeah.
And our friend Mike and his son
weird.
Joe were with us.
Yeah, that was crazy.
And we were, but then right after it said that, you heard a peaceful voice say what?
It was, what was it? Stay hidden.
Stay hidden for
safe.
now.
Yeah, stay hidden for now. You'll be safe.
You'll be safe.
Yeah.
So, I mean, what is that? Who is that? I mean,
I don't know.
Right, we don't know. We believe that was greatness, and protection.
It's crazy though.
And what is this voice thing?
I have no clue, but something that I just thought of when it's just an interesting thing to think about with like the going back to those people who I saw looking around.
Mm-hmm.
Now it's weird. The only reason why I asked you if you saw that too, like him looking around and shit, is because when you think about it, what if it was the only reason why I could see them actively searching was because of me being in tune with all that? Like, what if, like, people
don't see
every day don't see these people, looking around and performing actions that maybe they don't really do in physical realm?
Right.
Like, maybe the guy wasn't even looking around, but because there was more than meets the eye, to me, he was looking around everywhere. But, like, to just someone who just got there, they'd be like, what are you talking about?
Clueless,
like, what is that? So that's the only thing that I wanted to bring up because it is an interesting thing to think about a little bit as I just choke.
Yeah.
So I don't know. It's weird.
I remember though, you were like, as we were going to leave, you're like, should we close the prayer? And then we said, let's keep it open, but and we were, we didn't know what was going to happen since there was many of these, people with this thing around them, the hue. So I said, grab a baseball-sized rock each. We had, two, one in each hand. And we said, I don't know, if somebody attacks us, we got to fight back. So that's how this is fought, I guess. This is a weird thing, like you said.
Yeah.
Spiritual warfare all the time, good versus evil. And so we walked through. You were telling us where they are. They did not see us. They were scanning and panning the people. And then we left through them. And then we closed the prayer, and then things settled down again, like we talked about. So that was kind of crazy night. I know you were, because, we cannot hear this voice. Paul was describing it to us.
Yeah, it was.
And
it's crazy.
It's, what is that just from Gettysburg? Is that in life and death? What is that? Is that Satan? Is that like a demon? We don't even know because you didn't see.
I never saw what this was, but that feeling was just crazy. Like feeling like your chest like
And
moving
the
so
booming
whatever.
of the sound.
Oh, it
right?
was
The
like
voice.
you were just at a 3 Days Grace or Breaking Benjamin
like
concert.
last night. That was great. Shout out to those guys. Great show. Up
That was
in,
pretty smooth. If
at
you guys like
Montage
that.
Mountain. Great place, but get there early because parking
Yeah.
blows. It sucks.
There's a shortcut.
Yeah, we parked and walked a mile through the woods, but
Yes.
that was a great time. The casino's close by too. But great time, great concert, supporting our
Yeah.
our entertainers too.
Yeah.
Keep it non-political. Just do what you do best: is sing or dance or play sports.
Yeah.
Keep politics out of things, and we'll all
Definitely.
get along better. I think that's a huge
Definitely.
one.
People
But-
just gotta live. But yeah,
Gotta
no,
live.
that voice was stronger than that though. Like those speakers
Yeah,
that we
yeah.
felt last
Oh
night.
yeah,
Oh my gosh, it was way stronger than that. It was like to the point where like you could like everything was just, the vibrations of like the sound I think were really whatever
so.
moving. I
Jump
guess.
back for a second because I know we talked about this before. So at the bridge, you've seen the thing on the bridge called the lurcher, as we talked about, in the middle of the bridge,
Mhm.
which was a tall, weird, lanky shaped
Yeah.
thing with long arms and like a cloak, and that like can make people be depressed or hurt themselves or
Yeah.
kill themselves even, hopefully not,
Mhm.
or hurt others. But then sitting on top of the bridge, you saw the Jeepers Creepers thing that can fly too.
Yeah, that
You know?
thing's terrifying.
So you had the lurcher, you had the Jeepers Creepers thing, and then you have this big voice. All there. They've all
Yeah.
been there. So
And that little thing, the little thing. I mean, there's been so
yeah,
many
so
different
are they
things.
all one or are they all different things? It seems like they're all different things.
Well, it
that's what I
almost-
want to ask. Like, what you think, your opinion of that?
To me, I think they're all separate entities.
But they're all under the same.
but I
heading.
think they're all
bad.
trying to do a similar job.
Mhm.
It's just a different delivery. It's like, you got your Uber Eats, Grubhub, DoorDash.
True.
It's just a different name for the same guy,
Evil,
kind of.
But evil.
Now, I will say, the winged creature, the Jeepers Creepers thing, as we call it, that thing is very territorial, and that thing has been there for, I couldn't even tell you how long, but that thing's been there. That
Before
thing has
Gettysburg,
been planted.
before the battle.
Before the battle,
Yeah.
before all that, that thing has been there, and it knows that it's
That's
territory.
its domain.
That's its territory. So when you got like I won't even say like a benign entity or something, but like the lurcher, this thing isn't territorial. This thing is just kind of wandering, doing its thing, going, who can I get over here? Or who can I get
Well, it
over
feeds
there?
off of negativity. Right.
And that's not saying like, you can't have sad thoughts or be upset,
Right.
but
That's
don't,
human. Don't go there.
what-
Don't bring somebody there that's very
well, no,
depressed.
not even that, but don't call out to something you're not going to be able to control. Call out for good, always.
Protection.
Like, you can believe in whatever you want to believe in, but believe that there is an almighty good. We don't care what that looks like. Just believe that there is good. There's good in your heart, because when you start filling yourself with good,
goodness, yeah.
good
Greatness.
things will come. Great things will come.
Yeah.
And it's scary. It's scary to hear, like if I'm depressed or whatever, then this thing's automatically going to get me. No, that's not the case, because, everyone goes through these moments in our lives where you
Up
hit
and
rock
down,
bottom
sure.
sometimes. And it's just, you just need to know to call for good. You can't just be like, anything help me, because no, you rebuke any evil, any manipulating
Forces,
entity that
yeah.
can say, hey, I'm your whatever and I'll help you. Well, you don't really know that if you just called out to anything. So, they hear that stuff. They do. That side listens. And whether you believe in them or not, they don't need to believe in you, because they know that you're there.
You
So
say the wrong things, they're coming.
yeah,
It's like a portal in itself, our bodies, right?
Did you already forget?
Yeah.
We were talking about the lurchers, depressing, and
Yeah.
it's okay. Oh, I'll keep pick it back up if I have to. All right, ready?
So like you were saying, accepting greatness in your heart and soul, whether for me and you, it's Jesus Christ, our Savior, God, the Holy Spirit, that's us. But other religions have other things, including Native American religions of many gods, and we know, and learning about all other culture and religions is important too.
Yeah, no.
So
I think
we're
that's
not
beautiful to
pushing
do.
our faith. We're just saying
Yeah.
what we believe, and that's
again,
an awesome thing.
we can talk respectfully and talk about, like, I love learning about people. I don't know about everyone else, but I think it's so cool to hear where people come from, what they did and how they lived and what foods they love. Like, I love to eat,
Try
like,
different things, different cultures,
and meet new people. Like, who was it, Anthony Bourdain? He was someone who just went out and
no reservation. He was great on the show, as we know. So rest in peace to him.
I just feel like, touching back on that, like with the lurchers and stuff. Mm-hmm. So it's never, you really, like, your emotional state is important, but that alone isn't going to have like a lurcher just automatically attached to you. That's not what that is. Like, you have to be so unguarded to the point where you're giving yourself away, but when you call on anything, you can't guarantee it's always going to be good because you just opened it for everyone. So
that's like you said,
just
accept
be careful.
Greatness.
Accept greatness in your heart. Even if you don't believe in anything right now, just focus on love and memories of, whether if it was you with your parents, someone you loved,
anything
just
good you have.
Something good, like, just focus on that and, feel it. Be like, I don't know what's going on with people these days and everything, but, this life is kind of tough. This state that, the country's in the world is, the world.
But accepting the light.
It's tough.
The light.
But we struggle and we keep on going. Life is a beautiful thing. Any day above ground is a great day.
Part of life is death too. Our life.
Part of life is death. But there's respect with death. There's a lot. Like what we're seeing these days, it's, anyone can be killed at any moment and it's no one cares. That's kind of what the smell I'm smelling a little bit. Well, people do care. A lot of people care, but you got a lot of people who don't care these days until it happens to them,
or somebody.
Then they will.
Yeah.
And I think the important thing right now is, do you see that buck standing at the window, right? Or not even a buck, there's a deer at the window. That's funny. That is hilarious.
She's watching us eat my bushes, but
but I feel like now is the time where humans need to come together and be like, look, we can't just go and do something, publicly execute someone like that.
Violence never wins.
And I will just say, Charlie Kirk was an activist. He was a lobbyist. He wasn't even a politician. Maybe there were plans for that, but he was never someone who was that much of a threat to whatever. And I don't care what side you stand on, that man, listen, for people who say he was a bad guy, I challenge you, go listen to his videos. I really want you to listen to videos and, hear about it. And I'm not going to be here to, try and defend what I believe in. I know what I believe in, and I really do not care if people say you're wrong for that, because I'll say, okay, I'll listen why you think I'm wrong, and I'll tell you why I think I'm right. And, maybe we'll meet in the middle.
Well, that's what I was going to say. The truth is in the middle. Actually, both sides have, in our...
Extreme of anything is bad.
Right. Learning about others, like you just said, learning, and that's what Charlie did, was create a bridge between both sides, an open conversation, like he said. That's what it was. Watching his podcasts, learn about others, being kind to one another, listening, respect. But that's the thing. The truth is always in the middle, no matter what. If someone's getting a divorce, this side says this side says that. But actually, the truth is in the middle.
Always in the middle. It's never black and white. Never, ever.
Never.
There's always gray.
Exactly.
There's always gray room. And, I just can't believe that people,
go to this extreme.
They go to that extreme, and then it's a little frightening to see.
Laugh about it.
Yeah, how much it. But I still think there's room for those people to come back. I don't think they're totally gone. I don't think anyone is ever totally gone until there's a certain point, of course.
Yeah.
But that's where, that makes me human, and that, like God is the perfect being. He was all human and all divine at the same time, which, he forgave those who killed him. And See, I'm someone who I'm stubborn at times and I couldn't do that, but I admit to it. I am not perfect. I will never be perfect. I am very far from it. I've never claimed to be. I never want to be perfect because if you're perfect, there's literally no room for anything else. You're perfect. That's it. You can't grow. You can't do anything. But, Jesus being what he was just everything. He was all of it. He, the whole 9 yards. He was all of it.
Well, who did he accept? Everybody.
Everyone. The sinners,
the lepers,
everybody, everyone. So
vagabonds,
I don't know.
the street people, the homeless. I mean, that's what Jesus. And that's the story to get onto religion and things. But what would Jesus
do? It's just
do?
easy to
just
talk.
Look in the mirror and say,
or what would Muhammad do?
What is kindness? What did they want? What did they want you to be? The best person you could be, but that's sharing love to your family and pets and friends. And if we all did that, hey, this earth would be so special.
Exactly.
Helping others, and don't enable them, help them, teach them, and that's what this is all about. But I know it ties into what we're doing, but just like we talked about, the guys in the yard said there's many of these evil entities in people already. Like they don't even know how many.
Which that's kind of scary to think about.
So, but we want to say, all of us need to keep our guard up
at all times.
And speak up,
Act.
And help each other. Look at this young woman that was killed on that train. Well, that was something you probably couldn't prevent because it was a quick thing.
And it was totally
that guy
random.
Have been out. We know that story. But if you see something, help if you can. I know in her case it wouldn't have helped, but if you see something going on,
be the difference.
Be the difference. Take it, courage. Courage to stand up. Would you want somebody to stand up and help you in times of trouble? I hope so. Mm-hmm. And I hope people would. And that's the thing. There's doers and there's people that sit back. So I'm just saying
it's okay to be afraid.
Yeah,
it is.
That's what
more than
is.
Okay. That's human. That is human. But just
help one another. Help.
Be the difference. Be the difference.
And that's, I guess, the end game is, being the best you can be and helping.
And let's, is it so hard to just, exist with people that, now we have to start killing people just because they think slightly different? Right. That's so stupid.
Right.
Like, oh my gosh, I like chocolate ice cream over vanilla. Kill me. Like, don't actually. But, someone might even say, oh, well, since he said that, why don't I just pull the trigger? Like, no, that is so stupid. And if you are that close-minded that you cannot exist with other humans who disagree with you, then, I just think you should go live somewhere else then. Go be secluded somewhere. Go be paranoid, schizo. That's all going to happen at some point then. I just think there's just so much life and, there's so much beauty in life. So I feel like we need to promote that and everyone needs to see, things will turn around. But we have to, all of us need to be together. Change. It can't just be one group doing it. It has to be everyone. Yeah. Everyone has to see that, look, I don't treat you any different. I treat everyone equally. I don't care what you look like I said. I don't care about any of that stuff. If you're a good person, you are a great person in my book. And that's that. It's what's inside, the character that defines you. It's not, any other type of whatever. But none of that matters.
But also what's behind us here, which we have up, and I'm wearing it, is the
American flag.
For
Never
us,
forget.
Our free country, freedom of speech, which is being attacked, obviously.
All those fallen.
All of our amendments and stuff. So, but freedom, when we help the world, this is the best country on earth, and I love it here. And some of these people that think communism is the new way, that's not going to work out. I mean, look at the history of that. But I'm not going into that. But I'm just saying, love for our country, love for our people, help one another, reach out to your neighbors if they need help sometimes, and because sometimes we can you can go from 100 to 0 or 0 to 100. You know that.
Oh, yeah,
and be homeless.
Of course.
Help the people.
Be genuine, too. Don't be disingenuine, because there's a lot of fake out there these days.
We need to help our, people that are addicted to drugs, obviously get them into, a rehab, and sort of, I don't know, maybe we start, which I've mentioned to people as being a doctor is, we treat some people with addiction, but maybe they go. We have it like a new type of thing, a Peace Corps type thing, where you're taken out of the drug environment. We send you to another country, say Africa, one of the countries in Africa, and then we help.
Other people
We help.
in need.
Well, those people will go for a year or two and hopefully find purpose in their own life, so they don't have to resort back to the drugs. Because look how many Americans are dying each year, almost 100,000.
Yeah,
We gotta
sad.
wake up. We gotta wake up. This is our future. This is happening right under our noses with all the drugs and stuff. And I know once you're addicted, it's very hard. And they're good people. They were good people, but.
And they're not lost.
No, but they resort to like stealing and stuff because they have to get these drugs. That's what the drug does.
Because now they're relying on the drug to stay alive, and
So, unbelievable. We have things we have to work on. All of us. It takes
all of us.
Not,
no one's perfect,
not a couple.
and no one better claim to be perfect because we all know.
Look in the mirror.
One's perfect.
That's where it starts. Like Michael said, the man in the mirror or woman in the mirror. Look in the mirror, and that's make a difference. Make that change. Like quoting Michael Jackson. So
be the difference.
Rest in peace, also, Michael. So that's where I think we're going to end this today. I know again it's a short one and just tying some things together that we feel are important. And God bless America. God bless all those souls that were lost on 9/11 24 years ago, and
Never
Charlie
forget.
Kirk and anybody else that's a victim of violent crime or abuse or drug overdose. We have to remember these people. We have to move forward though and make change, please, all of us.
Yeah.
Okay. God bless everybody.
Thank you, everyone. Take care.
Thank you.